Hi, I'm Neil Patrick Harris. I live in New York City, and I want to do something that people did for hundreds of years. Can you guess? I want to swim in the river. I briefly polled my fellow New Yorkers to see if they wanted to join me.
Nah.
In your city, no.
Okay, why not?
Filled with poop.
The bodies.
Combined sewage overflow.
What I call poop flow.
All good points, but let me see if I can change your mind. Step into my time machine. Early 1900s. Oh my God, yes, you're right. It's a floating pool in the river. In 1911, nearly 2 million patrons used the floating baths. The 100 years of industry and storm runoff and sewage made the water very gross. So now the rivers have been off limits so long that people forgot how weird it is that we don't actually swim in them. But things are about to change. This is Plus Pool. It's shaped like a plus sign, floats in the river, and filters the water without using chemicals. It will clean more than 600,000 gallons of river water every single day. It's free and can hold up to 2,800 people. I'm not making this up.
It's civic, it's public, it's environmental, but also the fact that I think it's really simple as an idea.
This is Dong-Ping Wong, architect. He was a young New Yorker with a groundbreaking thought. It's hot, and I want to go swimming. So the idea of a plus-shaped pool was born. He assembled a team of experts to develop the idea. Okay, they were his friends.
Jeff is the conservative, smart, and safe one. Dong is the best version of Dogtown and Z-Boy's surfer bro. He likes burritos a lot. We all like burritos a lot. And Juana Stănescu is an incredible, fiery architect.
And Archie is the talkative one.
You asked another question, I had another thought, but I forgot what it was.
They locked themselves inside for 4 weeks straight, putting a book together for the design and eating a lot of pizza. When they were done, they mailed out 100 copies and posted on Facebook. They received a lot of feedback, including one critical phone call.
Is Josh David gonna talk here?
Josh David is the oracle for us.
Joshua David, aka The Oracle and co-founder of New York City's High Line.
He said, this is a great idea. You should know that the probability of this happening is very low.
I told them it would take a long time.
Undeterred by the Oracle's warning, the gang started pitching.
And that week, we actually met with Parks and Recreation, who told us the city has no money for a project like this.
Oh, well, we're gonna do a pool, it's gonna be a filter. Solved. That just seemed fanciful.
We were getting laughed at, but only for the first 10 to 15 minutes of a meeting. By the end of it, they were just asking lots of questions.
They went on more and more meetings. Hundreds.
1,000 or more?
Okay, thousands.
Department of Health, Department of Environmental Conservation, Department of Environmental Protection, Economic Development Corporation, the Deputy Mayor, the Mayor's City Hall, City Council, Riverkeeper, Waterkeeper, the owner of Saturday's Surf Shop, you name it.
Like any good millennial, they turned to Kickstarter.
We were kids. Dong was literally wearing a tie-dye t-shirt.
We're here because we basically want to build a floating pool in New York for everyone.
They used that money for their next challenge, figuring out how to clean that dirty water.
We drew this diagram that was like, we're gonna filter out the rats, and we're gonna filter out the condoms, and we're gonna filter out feces, and then this bacteria, and da-da-da-da.
Simple, right? But just to be safe, they partnered with a fancy engineering firm to do a feasibility report.
It's a super dry document. I think we just flipped to like the summary page, and it was just like, feasible. We're like, phew, that's like all we needed to know.
Next, the team hired a Canadian water engineer named Greg, who ran tests in a small pool in the river.
We called it Float Lab. His days were brutal. He would be out in the sun, changing out the cartridges, take tests 3 times a day.
But despite Greg and the team's best efforts, they weren't getting the results that they wanted.
And that was a dark time. You've spent almost $400,000 with a community of 5,000 people behind you asking every day what's going on. And so it was a little scary.
And then, just as the money was running out, the water was clean.
The graph was going like this, and then one day, like that. And we jumped in it, because it was the first time anybody had swam in a clean river in almost 100 years. And that was spiritual.
People started to really pay attention.
There was a moment when the 4 founders said, this isn't a naive hipster baloney thing anymore. This is real.
2011, Jay-Z writes about it on his blog, Life and Times. Holy shit, it's definitely happening. Mayor of Sydney, Australia tweets about it, says, when can we get a plus pool? David Letterman doing his monologue about plus pool. Time magazine called Plus Pool one of the top inventions of the year. The Cronut also won, and you're like, this is gonna happen, Mom, you know?
And it was totally happening, Mom. Plus Pool even caught the attention of Heineken, who were super excited to help make the rivers accessible to everyone again.
Heineken, through the Cities project, is really good at identifying people that are doing projects that are making their cities better.
The Cities project is all about giving back to cities. It's Heineken's initiative to make cities better for the people who live in them.
This is one of those ideas that everybody who hears it's like, of course I want to do that. Of course I want to swim in the water. They think it's a little bit crazy and like, that's never going to happen. But you know what? The more you talk about it, the more we get it out into the public conversation, the less crazy it sounds.
Heineken has given us the ability to speak to an audience
It'd be pretty fun if we could swim in the river again.
much bigger than the audience that we have currently.
Heineken's primary purpose is to drive awareness. We want people to demand that they get Plus Pool.
And if we could clean the water in one river in one city, imagine multiplying that by Plus Pools all over the world.
My greatest hope for Plus Pool is that it spawns. If we do it here, it will float everywhere.
The millions of people in this country and all over the world that have ideas about how their cities can be better, they should be listened to. They should be given the tools, and they should have the opportunity to make them happen. And yeah, that's why we're doing Plus Pool.
What is truly amazing about this team is that nobody asked them to do this.
So much of what we do in New York is made possible because people give of themselves to make these things that we all love about New York City exist. And Plus Pool is going to be one of those things.
Things happen in this city with 1,000 signatures. We're trying to get 100,000 signatures to tell the city of New York that we want to swim in the river, and we want to do that with Plus Pool.
And we all can be a part of this. Tell the city you want your river back. We live in the greatest city on Earth that just so happens to be surrounded by water. Why wouldn't we swim in the river?
It's not just about swimming in the river, it's about what it means to do a project like this at all.
So go to swimintheriver.com and sign the pledge, buy a tile, and get your swimsuit ready. We'll see you at Plus Pool.